Testing with noise reduction on the camera. Ramblin' Man Moto coming at you on my 22 Indian Super Chief Limited. We're having a slight reprieve from what has been colder weather. If you've heard some of my videos around this time of year, I normally try to ride at least once a week, even if it's a little chilly to cold. I've got a bunch of heated gear, added heated grips to both bikes. But man, lately I tell you, I just didn't want to go through putting all of the gear on. I don't mind putting on the safety gear all year long. It's the winter gear that makes me feel like I'm all puffed up. Like George Costanza with his Gore-Tex. You're all puffed up. But today is 65. I threw on a base layer on the pants and then just put my normal gear on. And I'm on my Super Chief Limited. One, this bike hadn't been out much, and I wanted to just kind of get it going. Two, even though I still have the seat on the Springfield, I have the side covers off because I went and checked the shipping price to ship my seat. On the stock seat to the Springfield, it's going to be going to Mean City Cycles. And in the first part of January, they're going to do their double memory foam on my stock seat, which they tell me they can pretty much either leave me in the stock position or take me forward half an inch, which I could deal with half an inch forward, but I don't really need or want it. My main thing was I wanted to still feel like I was sitting in the bike. And they said it's going to be the same as stock. We'll see. You know, it's funny being back on this Corbin. The Corbin is definitely a different feeling seat compared to like the Ultimate. It feels really cushy and nice. The Corbin feels hard, but I've always enjoyed the Corbin seats. And the thing I find surprising is that Corbin has told me that all of their seats are designed to sit the rider higher compared to stock. And that just hasn't been my actual experience with the Indian Scout and the one I'm riding right now. If anything, I feel lower. I feel real good on this Corbin and always have from the minute I put it on. I remember I bought that Corbin on my Indian Scout, and the weekend I got it, I installed it on a weekend and immediately rode to the Outer Banks for a family reunion. Never even thought about my motorcycle seat. But man, this Springfield has been quite a challenge. So I'm optimistic, cautiously optimistic that the Mean City Cycle crew will be able to kind of take away some of these hot spots and extend the amount of time I can ride. You know, when I was considering buying the Indian Springfield, which I bought used the day after Christmas last year, I was also considering a Roadmaster, and I don't know if I was really considering any other Indian. I wasn't considering any other non-Indian. And people pointed out to me that if you just go ahead and buy the, I think it was the Roadmaster, that it's the same bike as the Springfield, but you can remove, I guess it would be the trunk and the fairing, and it's the Springfield. And if you obviously if you add a trunk to the Springfield, it's not cheap, and you're getting right back to what a Roadmaster is. I think that's right, that they told me you could remove the fairing, and that was you're back to a Springfield. And maybe I should have done that. The reason I held off was the bike weighed so much more with the trunk and the fairing. And for me going the next step up, and as a newer rider, I didn't feel comfortable going from this bike, the Super Chief Limited, straight to the Roadmaster. In fact, many people would tell me I shouldn't have even been on the Scout or the Super Chief, that I should have started out at a small Honda or something. And yeah, you know, there's some things I could have gotten more confidence on, for sure, on a smaller bike. But I have to admit, I'm getting a little bit of an itch to own a Roadmaster once I start doing longer and longer trips. I'm running out of some garage space, and I'm kicking around whether to sell this bike or not, because I find that the Springfield's the one I want to ride the most, and have been. It's not exactly a seller's market on the bikes. Part of me feels like I'll just keep it, but selling it would help me kind of extend my replenish the budget a little bit. And of course, I did various things to this bike as upgrades, and you almost never get that money back. Now, they're upgrades that I think people would like. I'm doing a test where I've turned on the wind noise reduction on my microphone. The microphone is in my helmet, but no matter what I seem to do, there still seems to be wind noise that comes to the helmet and reaches the microphone. I'm going nowhere in particular. Just doing a little route that I sometimes do on these back roads out in this area. Oh, God. So I'm reminded every time I get back on this bike and hit any sort of bump, man, the rear shocks are just like non-existent. It's like a chiropractic adjustment, but a bad one every time. It just, whew. Whereas the Springfield has that nice shock in the rear. I've said that if I keep this bike for a long term, I might need to like look at my options on the rear shocks. We had a lot of rain the past 24 to 36 hours, so I'm still being a little cautious, because sometimes you come across these areas and there's still standing water, roads are still slick. Like these bumps over the bridges, especially if they're going down a hill and back up, man, they're just brutal on this bike. Like that right there, even something as simple as that, like, it doesn't always feel great. One thing on this Super Chief Limited I don't have in is the backrest. And it's a mixed thing with that backrest, because I ordered the larger oval back, and on my previous Corbin I had their standard, and I thought larger would be better, but what I have found is I actually prefer the smaller. I can't tell exactly, like, it just feels like it pushes me forward more than the normal. It also makes opening the bag on the luggage rack harder. This is Lake Anna. This is the private side of Lake Anna, what they call the private. Oh, God. But guys, I'm not exaggerating. Like, whew. I should have been paying attention. I was looking at the water briefly when I hit that bump. Man. Anyhow, that's the warm side of Lake Anna. Lake Anna you know, here at the Lake Anna nuclear power plant, and the water that goes through that plant comes out into the lake on the warm side, so that's why it's warmer than the cold side. The public side is the cold side. All right, I have wind reduction off now on the microphone inside the helmet. We'll see if this sounds any different. Testing 1, 2, 3. I'm just out on a short ride. I'm not going to be out long today. I kind of wanted to get in some shooting range time before sunset. So I think I'm going to drift my way back home and get in a little range time. I didn't bring my drone on the bike today, and man, you talk about having a hobby that people are paranoid about. People that really, I don't know, the social media mobs and the comments when it comes to little drones up in the air. If you read and believe the social media comments, every drone is up there casing your life, casing your property, because they're going to come and rob you. It's like, yeah. Did you read one story in the news with a headline by the drive-by media? Gangs using drones. So they just assume now every time they see a drone, especially if it's hovering. And I can't tell you how many times I have been flying my drone when some person comes up, you know, curious and interested, and I have to stop what I'm doing and tell them that I can't talk right now because I'm busy flying an aircraft. And so while I'm having that conversation, what is the drone doing? Just hovering in place. I'm not even looking at the screen because my eyes are diverted. And sometimes, you know, I try not to divert my eyes. I try not to even talk to them. But they take it as rude. People just don't think that I'm up there having to watch for planes, helicopters, you know, anything else, but you know, I'm supposed to have line of sight on the drone, and they come up, what are you doing? Flying a drone? Here's your sign. No, I'm playing Pac-Man with some birds in the sky. Here's your sign. So then I've had actually one lady come up and borderline demand that her kid would like to fly my drone. It's pretty much the response I gave her. Little Johnny's not flying this drone. It's not a toy. But again, you know, when people come up like that, I can try to keep flying in a distracted way or pause and tell them I can't talk. I'll be glad to talk when I'm through and it's back on the ground. And they think it's being rude. But anytime I'm distracted like that, there's a good chance the drone is just hovering in place. And nowadays, people take hovering as, oh, it's something sinister going up there in the sky. Now, these other drones that people are saying are as large as a car, I haven't seen any video of car-sized drones, but maybe others have. You know, aside from the rear shock shock and awe, maybe I should call that, the shock and awe of when I go over bumps. This bike always feels really good to me when I'm out riding it. It's nice and nimble. I haven't had really any major issues with it. The rear shock is a bummer. Whoa, whoa. Any more coming? No, no. All good, all good. All right, guys, I'm gonna work my way on home. I'll see you on the road.